Hello, everybody. Good evening, and thank you for joining me today. As I promised you all last week, I'm having an interview with one of my interns today. Her name is Anna, and she is an intern with UIC joining us. And yeah, she's going to be talking a little bit about her interest in social work, everything social work, and just kind of get into those kinds of conversations, getting to learn a little bit more about her too, and a little bit of some quick announcements before we get into the interview. Just to announce that our youth talk, we don't have a flyer for today, but our interns will be joining us for our youth talk not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So it'll be on the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna be meeting over Zoom as usual. If you're interested in our youth talks, please feel free to look us up on our Instagram and Facebook, and you can find the QR code and link where you can sign up for that. But getting into the interview with Anna. Hi, Anna. Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to have you here. And I was just telling Anna, that we're trying to get all the interns exposed to CAN TV, trying to do a little bit of everything. These just kind of interviews is something that maybe they haven't done before, something that they're new to, but just get that practice in, it'll make you more comfortable. But yeah, getting into the interview, our first question for you is, where do you go to school and what are you specializing in?
Yes, so I go to UIC. I'm in my second semester of the graduate school program, and I'm in the social work Jane Addams department.
Okay. And what year are you graduating?
In May of 2025.
Okay.
So I'm in year 1 of 2.
Okay, that's nice. That's already next year. Like, that's literally coming up already.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm already, it's already February in my second semester. I feel like it's gone by so fast.
Yes, yeah. Like, I was thinking, when I heard 2025, I'm like, that's still 2 years away, right? But I forgot that it's already 2025.
I know, it's so weird.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's good. That must be really exciting. And tell us a little bit about why you got interested in social work.
Yeah, so it's kind of a long story, but so I didn't really know what I wanted to do going into undergrad, but I knew that I wanted to be in psychology. So I was like, I'm not sure what I want to do with that, but I want to major in psychology going into my freshman year. So freshman year, took the classes, loved the classes, content, still not sure what I wanted to do. And then second semester comes and COVID hits in the middle. So I was living in the dorms, and so I was kicked out of the dorms and had to go back home, which was like 3 hours away. And it was just kind of a hard time, I think, for everyone. But I just had this newfound freedom, and now I have to go back home with my parents. But it ended up working out because my sister, who lives 5 hours away, because I was looking for jobs, and it was hard to find jobs because no one was really hiring.
Yeah, that's true.
And so she was like, hey, I have this opportunity for you if you want to come live with me for the summer. So I was like, sure. So
nice.
I moved 5 hours away in with her for the summer, and I ended up as a patient escort at the hospital that she works at.
Cool.
And she happens to be a medical social worker. And so when I moved in with her, I didn't really know what social work was. But as I was living with her, she would come home and talk about work. And as she was talking about it, I was like, this actually seems like something I'd be interested in. And so I started asking her more questions, and I was able to actually shadow her too, which worked out really well.
That's cool.
So that's where my spark kind of started. And then she recommended I volunteer to get to see if I would actually like it. So once my fall semester started back up again and we were back at school, I reached out to one of my professors from freshman year and was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Where do you recommend I intern or volunteer? And then they gave me access to the domestic violence shelter. And it was the best decision I ever made. I loved it there. The people were great. And now here I am.
Wow. I didn't know that it was your sister that got you into that. That's really cool. So during kind of like that time in COVID, you kind of decided, oh, I'm going to go stay with my sister, right? So what kind of stuff did your sister do, like specifically at the hospital, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so she does a lot of discharge planning. That's like
Okay,
her main, and like trauma-informed care. If,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
it depends on the situation or what's happening. But she was in like an inpatient unit, but now she's in like neonatal care.
Oh,
So she's
okay.
working with like babies in the NICU and stuff. So that comes with like a different
Okay,
set of responsibilities.
definitely.
But yeah.
Okay.
So usually
Nice.
she'll like have to help patients with like what to do after they get out of the hospital and stuff.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Well, when you were with her then, like what kind of stuff were you able to do while you were there with her?
I was only able to watch her, but I
Yeah.
shadowed a lot of like phone calls, and like when she'd have to go in unit to talk with her clients, because like she'd have to talk with the doctors like right in the morning and talk about all of her clients with the doctors, and then
Right.
she'd go see like whichever one she needed to throughout the day. So I was able to watch her do that, and then she'd have to make phone calls to like rehab centers to see if she could get her clients in. So yeah, I was able to do some of that.
That's really nice. And that the hospital was also like able to let you like go in and observe too.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice you're able to do that. Like you definitely took advantage of your like time during COVID. Like, oh, I'm not in school right now. You know what? I'm still gonna get some learning in there and experience.
I hate to say it, but honestly, COVID kind of helped me out in a lot of ways because it led me to where I'm at right now, honestly. I don't know what would have happened if I wouldn't have lived with her. So
And then you said like coming back, right? You had talked to one of your professors about getting into like an internship related to social work. So was that like something mandatory they had to do at the school, or you just wanted to do that?
So at the time, I just wanted to do it, but I ended up changing my major to a double major, so I did psychology and criminal justice, and with that I had to do an internship in order to graduate. So then I actually needed one, but originally it was just to,
Like you just want an interest.
yeah, I just wanted to see like if this is something I actually wanted to do before pursuing it further. But
Okay, so it was just like you took that initiative. Like, I don't even know if I need to do this, but now that you double majored, you're like, oh, I actually need to do it, but you don't care because I actually like doing this.
yeah, and
I like that.
it worked out because my sister had been through the process of going to grad school for social work and stuff, so she was like, you should have an experience to look good on your resume if that's what you really want to do. So
Yes, and you already had someone in there that's like, okay, this is what you have to do. Get that internship, get these experience in to apply, and then after that, when you, I'm already getting ahead of the question, but it's okay. It's fine. We're having the flow.
yeah.
But so after you had graduated with your double major, psychology and criminal justice, what made you want to go into get your master's in social work?
To be honest, you can't really do much with psychology, just as a degree itself. So you kind of almost have to go to a grad school of some sort. But I don't know. It was mostly just I wanted to be a social worker, and I just wanted to have that MSW degree. And so I just, because I graduated with psychology, and you really can't do much with psychology. So if
especially with what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So if I wanted to graduate social work, I might not have done this. I don't know, but.
Okay, so then right after you finished your bachelor's, you went right into your master's, or did you take a break in between?
No, I graduated in May of 23 and I started in fall of 23.
Okay, no break for school, just get right into it. You know what, let's just finish it. You're almost there, 2 more years in. What's 2 more years, right?
Yep, and I know me, and I think if I would have taken a gap year, I would have had a really hard time coming back, I think.
That's true. I agree with that.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I'm originally from Iowa. I don't know if you do that. So I literally graduated, had like 2 months still in Iowa, and then I transitioned to Chicago like right away, and then started the program. So it was kind of a lot, but I'm glad to be here.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, and then if I can ask, your sister, you said she was 5 hours away from your parents, so was she also still in Iowa, or was it?
Yeah, so she's actually on the border of Iowa and Illinois, or like close to it. So she's only 3 hours from me now, which is really nice and helpful.
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
that's
we
nice.
see each other a decent amount.
She could still help you out with whatever you got to do for school and stuff.
For sure, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm still asking her for advice all the time.
I mean, take advantage. Take advantage while you can, honestly. Okay, well, that's really nice to learn all about that. And so with that, since starting, your MSW program, What's a topic that has been most interesting to you, like since you've started? It can be related to, internship or school, like a topic that you've learned about that you really enjoy.
Yeah, so I say I've had a few topics of interest throughout my experience, but my first was definitely in criminal justice. I was really interested in, like, because I knew about medical social work, but when I started researching on my own, I realized, like, wow, you can do a lot with social work.
Yes.
So I started looking into, like, criminal things I could do in the criminal justice field with social work, and that's, like, advocacy was really where I was focused for a while there, and then I started grad school, and it's kind of changed to more mental health.
Okay.
And so I think now I'm more interested in mental health and pursuing that. And also with that, I've been really interested in generational trauma.
Okay.
And so I kind of want to do more research into that eventually, but I'm just kind of starting that journey. So
Yeah, you've already, like, even before doing your master's, kind of dipped your toe into social work with doing, like, the stuff with your sister, and then you said doing the internship with the Domestic Violence Center. And what was that like for you, like doing advocacy? Like, how did you like that?
yeah, so at first it was really intimidating. I had to take crisis calls for like domestic violence victims and such, and so that was very intimidating because I feel like I was a sophomore in undergrad, so I didn't have very much experience prior to that, and then they just kind of threw me into it. Like, I only had online trainings, and then I went there the next day, and they're like, okay, like, here's the phone, and here's the stuff you have to fill out and make sure to say. And I'm like, I don't get to shadow anybody. Like,
just watch some YouTube videos and you're good.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. So it's a good thing I was thrown into it, honestly. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have done, but I liked it. That was definitely my least favorite part, though. But I really enjoyed, like, advocating for clients. I was able to go to court sometimes and sit in with clients and just be there for them throughout the process.
Okay.
So yeah, and I also worked in, like, the shelter, and I would help, like, with turnover. So I'd help, like, make the bed and clean it up and for the next clients. So yeah.
And it was all like within that same program? Or
Yeah.
Like they say okay, so they had you do like a little bit of everything, basically.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me. Like, I know we talked about this before, but just that they kind of threw you into with the crisis calls with no prior experience, really. Just like, here's some YouTube videos, and now here's your script, like, and that's all you got to do. And I think it is for sure a little intimidating, but you felt like it was still a learning, like you learned a lot from that.
Oh, yeah. I loved that intern, like that volunteer experience. It's honestly what made me realize that I definitely wanted to do social work. And I've kind of been looking for similar placements in like that field, but.
Okay. So related to domestic violence or related to advocacy?
Just like more advocacy.
Okay.
I'm not, and like mental health and stuff.
Right.
But I feel like they all kind of are interlinked, so.
It's true. And so you said now you're kind of leaning more towards mental health. Do you have any classes like related to mental health or?
Not this semester, but next year is our specialization year, and I just found out that I got mental health for my specialization year, so that's exciting. Okay. And next year we'll dive into like the DSM-5 and all that stuff.
Ooh, okay. So with like mental health, in that spectrum, are you wanting to work more with, like, have you thought about maybe working with kids, adults, teenagers, in between? What does that look like?
I've kind of gone in between. I've worked with like youth aged 8 to 12, and I feel like or like 12 to 18. Like it's been like those two, and that's it. And I haven't really done much. It's usually been like group work and stuff with like another advocate or whatever. But I think I'm leaning more towards adults. Nice. Just because, like, with kids, you also, the kids and then the parents, and then it becomes, like, the family. And I was like, and I feel like all of these different areas kind of, you have to deal with, like, the family and everyone. But I think for, like, one-on-one therapy, I would prefer, like, adults.
Okay. So adults, yeah. I feel like there's something for everyone, right? Like I know one of our other interns, she wants to work more with kids. And like you said, working with kids, there's so many more like family or just other systems that you have to interact with too, right? So it's like, it becomes a little bit high, it could be high stress or high pressure, just making sure that this kid, because they're not over 18 yet, making sure they have what they need, right, to
Right.
be like a functioning adult in the future and have what they need just to be secure. So I'm sure that is definitely a lot more communication that it takes to work with a child too. So I can definitely see like the appeal with working with adults, just making sure, now that they're adults, we don't need to work with their parents for anything that they need, right? Because
Yeah.
they're grown up enough to be able to, for us to just work with them and get them the help that they need themselves. So I kind of like that. I think I like that there's just a broad, with all of our interns, broad interest in different kinds of fields. So you with mental health, what specifically like in the mental health? I know you said a little bit about trauma, right? So that's something that interests you. Is there like a particular reason or just like what you saw with your sister?
Yeah, so like in high school, I know now, I definitely struggled with like anxiety, but at the time, mental health wasn't really talked about. And so I kind of just kept it to myself, whatever. And then come to college and psychology, and like people are actually talking about it. I was actually learning about it, and I'm like, wow, like I'm not crazy, like, or and it was nice just actually being able to talk about it and start learning about it and have a space where I felt like comfortable learning about it and talking about it. And so now I'm just kind of passionate about it because I want people to know that they're not alone, because I feel like a lot of people struggling feel like they're alone. And I want to help people like get their with their lives and figuring it all out.
People that you can relate to, and also because you were saying like growing up you didn't really hear a lot about that, right? But now that it's becoming more of a common topic or an issue that people are talking about more, I feel like being that person for them, like to tell them like, hey guys, like we're talking about it more now, you can feel more comfortable, like we're here to help you. I feel like that's really important for sure.
I just want to be that safe space for other people.
Yes, I like that. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so I guess looking at our next question, what is something that you've been working on for your internship that's been of interest to you so far?
Yeah, so basically what I do is for the 29 individual communities that CAP serves, I've been working on like resource boards for each individual community. So for example, CAP has just a general resource board, and we put these, it's on an app called Padlet. So I put the different, each community has their own, and then the CAP over like it's just general, and I just put resource links in, and that allows anybody who is looking for like jobs, scholarships, any resource like that, they can just go to this Padlet board and click a link that for something that they're looking for, and then have immediate access to that, and hopefully their questions are answered.
That's really nice. Yeah, I wish we could have got like a screenshot of that.
I know, I was just thinking about that. That would have been helpful.
It would have been cool. Like we could have just been scrolling through showing examples. Like, oh, if you're looking for this, that would have been. That's nice. Okay, yeah, because there's a lot of. You said 29, right? So it's a whole bunch.
I don't do each one, but
I was
I'm
gonna
doing a few. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So do you know what's one of the communities that you're focusing on right now?
South Chicago is one, which it's like hard, almost. It's not hard, but like there's just so many resources, and I'm just like making sure that I get the most important ones, because I want everyone to have what they need when they're looking at the board. But like South Chicago is so vast that it's
like Chicago in general
and
too.
and
there's so much stuff. So with the resources you're looking at and putting on that app, is it mostly catered to youth, adults, or is it just like for everybody? Like...
So there's different like sections. There'll be youth job board, adult job board, and then scholarships is just like one basic one. But then we also do like specific scholarships, so like Latinx.
Splitting it
up. So.
Okay, so do you also, input, I'm assuming, links for the youth section and adult section and scholarships too? That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then there's like mental health resources, community resources, just like anything you can think of. There's like local schools, college resources, so like FAFSA, how you apply for that, how do you even apply for college,
That's really good, because at my job, we were kind of talking about the not the issue, but just, I guess, the issue with people in the community not knowing about the resources that are in their community.
Yeah.
There was like a survey that one of my other interns are working on asking, like, oh, do you believe there are enough resources for this, and that? And some people are just like, no, like, there's not. But if it's kind of hard to think about, there's so many resources, but maybe it's like working on the advertising that needs to be done. It's just I feel like a common issue with organizations in general, right? Like trying to reach out to their community and being like, hey, we're right here. Like we have like free resources for you. And I feel like that's been such a big discussion too. So when you were saying like, when you were about to say, oh, there's so much, I thought you were going to say, oh, there's not a lot, honestly, because I was like, that's just the thing that comes up, right?
Yeah. I've been having a hard time, like, narrowing it all down. I'm just, like, and making sure that it's, like, a good resource, too, is important. But, yeah, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people don't know the resources that are available to them, and that is, like, one thing that I'm proud of, or, like, I'm trying to do is, like, here's your resources. I'm trying to give you them.
Yes. And the app, I feel like, is such a good way to be able to do that, to advertise. Like, hey, all you got to do is click the link and there you go. Like, it's right here. It gives you all the information. So whenever, that's done, is it done? Like, can people download it or?
Yeah, just on your phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, girl, you got to send me that link. We'll be sharing that at our youth talks too. That'll be nice too. I feel like that's going to be a really good way. Because, I mean, everybody has a phone, or almost everybody has a phone. Like, that's one of the best ways.
And that was Kathleen's, like, main reason for doing Padlet, is because she's like, everyone's on their phone these days, so.
Oh, my God. I love
Kathleen. Use it for something good.
That is so true, yeah. And apps like that can really just, like, push the way through for community members to really learn about what's in my community, right?
Yep.
For example, like, LOS is a community organization that's where I live. And when we were going to collaborate with them to work with the youth over there, I was like, I didn't even know this place was right here. It's like, has a beautiful mural out in front, but it's like the sign for the organization is like also not, it wasn't so noticeable to me. So I was like not taking the time to really like look at the area, where I live. So it's everywhere. It's definitely everywhere. So I think, that app, next time I come on here, girl, I'm a show that app. I'll show it up next time so that way people can download it. It's beneficial to anyone, right? App, adults, youth. Yeah. Okay, that's really good. Okay, I like that. That's exciting. So is that something you're still working on currently?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an ongoing thing. Because I always have to like be updating stuff too.
That's true. Okay. Let's see. We do have a few minutes left. I'll probably ask maybe one or two more questions. What advice would you give to any incoming MSW students, knowing what you know now?
I would have to say, when things get overwhelming and stressful, just try to center yourself by remembering like how happy you were when you got accepted into the program to begin with.
Yes.
Because that is something that I try to use to ground myself a little bit when things are getting a little crazy during the semester. But just think about that joy and like just be proud of yourself for even being in this situation. Like even being able to be stressed is great for this case anyway.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, just being happy that you're here, I guess.
Yeah, because honestly, like how I feel after finishing grad school, sometimes I find myself missing the stress of school.
I can see that.
Yeah, like even because the stress, it kind of keeps you busy. It keeps you occupied, and it can be a healthy amount of stress, right? There's such a thing as a healthy amount of stress. It's like making sure that you're constantly thinking about the things that you're supposed to be doing, catching up with schoolwork, exams, or things like that. But just having something to do, it feels like it gives you a purpose a little bit, right?
Yes,
like for just being in school, like I'm a student. This is my purpose right now. Like because take advantage while you're there, right? Because once you graduate, it's like now you got to go into the real world and get an actual job.
And then that's all it is for the next 50 years of your life.
Yes. Unless you want to go for your PhD.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? Would you?
I don't want to do that. I'm done. I'm already done and I still have a year left.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's so fair because I feel the same way. But that's good to know. So that's some good advice, to give to future MSW students. And then I guess last thing to kind of wrap up, what do you see yourself doing post-graduation in your social work career?
So I think I want to pursue my LCSW and become a licensed clinical social worker, and honestly hope someday to open up my own practice and do individual therapy. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That you have that goal for you. So I just, want to say thank you so much for coming on here
Yeah,
with
thanks
me.
for having me.
I really appreciate that. Maybe sometime in the future we could have you back again, only if you're interested. I'm not forcing our interns anymore after they've done it once. But thank you.
Yeah, we'll see.
No worries. I am not holding any grudges against you for that. But thank you so much again, Anna, and thank you for our viewers for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this interview today, and I will see you all at the end of February. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.